So we're going to have a look at some precedence tables, some precedence table questions. So we've got a few old exam questions. The first one here says a factory produces cans of tinned beans. The table below shows a list of tasks and the time taken to complete them. Okay, so we've got all of our tasks here from A all the way through I. We've got details about them. Details aren't too important in terms of answering the question. The two most important things are the preceding task and the time. Okay, so the preceding task is the task that has to come before it. And it's where the name comes from, a precedence table, because you're looking at things that follow each other. So we've got this here. The time in seconds is important because in B I can see it says minutes there, but I'll sort of get there once I finish A. So A says complete the diagram below to show the tasks and time in the boxes. Okay, so here's our table here, and you just fill it in on the sheet whenever you're doing the exam, and you just put basically the letter there and the number of how many seconds is there, just sort of keep yourself right. So what I've done is I've just copied out onto a show me board here. So here's my table, okay, and I'm gonna have a look at my tasks, okay. So it says first that I've got C here, so I should really fill in C onto my table. So there's C, and it says 300. Okay, so C and 300. And what I notice from looking at my precedence table is that the task A has got a preceding task of C. Okay, so the thing that comes after C must be A. So A has to go there, and it's 500 seconds. Okay, and what I can do then next is look for the whatever has a preceding task of A. I can go down. I can see A there. So here's A, and it's H. So H goes there, and it's 2 seconds. Okay, so I've done this for the first half of my precedence table. I can sort of look at the next part. So if I filled in, C is already given to me, and C is quite a good one to have because it's got preceding task none. So the fact that it's got preceding task none means that it has to go on the far left hand side. So what you can do is you can have a look at the other task that has no preceding task, and it's F, which is make the sauce, and it's 900 seconds. So F is the one that goes here, and it's 900 seconds. Okay, so that's that one. And then now we basically look for the task that has a preceding task of F, and there is E, and put sauce notes in. So E goes there, and E is 2 seconds as well. Okay, so that's a good chunk of my table completed. Now it's just a straight line, and that should be pretty straightforward at this stage. You basically just look for the ones that we've got H and E. So look for H and E. There it is a B. So B goes there, and B is 3 seconds. Look for the one that's got preceding task of B, which is I. It's got 300 seconds. Look for one preceding task of I, which is D. It's attached label. That's 5 seconds. Lastly, preceding task of D, which is G, and it's also 5 seconds. Okay, so that's part A completed. So that's 1 mark. Now look at part B. Okay, it says the factory manager thinks that the whole process can be completed in less than 25 minutes based on the times given. Is the factory manager correct? Use your working to justify your answer. Okay, so the first thing we've got to sort of deal with is the fact we've got minutes and we've got seconds here. So what I would maybe do is, once I've got my final answer, is I'll just divide that by 60 and just see how many minutes that is. Okay, the way to read precedence tables is that there's tasks that can essentially be completed at the same time. So anytime it sort of splits, it means that those two almost tasks together can be completed at the same time. So I can complete the tasks C, A and H at the same time as I can F and E. Okay, what that actually means in terms of the time taken to complete everything is that basically the longest of those two is how long all that stuff's going to take. Okay, the really common error that everyone does is they just see all these numbers and they just add them all together. Okay, which isn't right, because I can do C, A and H at the same time as I'm doing F and E. But C, A and H, like added together, that's 802. So C, A and H is 802 seconds, and F and E is 902. What this basically means is after 802 seconds, I've completed C, A and H, but I've not quite completed F and E. But after 902 seconds, I've completed C, A and H and F and E, because that one's obviously bigger than that one. So you start with 902 seconds, and then all we've got to do, because this is quite a straightforward one, is just to add on all these numbers. So there's 313 more seconds that add on, which gives me 1,215 seconds. Okay, so what I can do next is I can divide that by 60, or I could also just multiply 25 by 60, and what that will do is it'll tell me how many seconds this should take So 6 2s are 12, plus 3 is 15. And there's 0, so 1,500 would be the same thing as 25 minutes. So if you look, that means that this is based on the times given. Is the factor manager correct? Use your working justifier answer. Well, he is correct because 25 minutes. So what that sentence would look like is, yes, he is correct. Is correct. It be completed in 1,215 seconds, which is less than 20. i.e. 1,500 seconds. Okay, and you have to write a sentence, and you make sure you've got numbers involved as well. Okay. Okay, so I've got another precedence table question here on my iPad. And this one's a little bit different than the one before because it's not got any times, it's just got the tasks. However, the table itself is a wee bit more challenging. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this, and we're going to look at our precedence table that I've already drawn out. Okay, so there it is. So we've got it all drawn out. So what I've basically got to do is figure out where everything's going to go. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what's going to go on the far left hand side of my table. Okay, so what I basically need is I need the preceding task to be none for it to go on the far left hand side. So you can see activity C, okay, it says none there, so it's going to go on the far left hand side of my table. Okay, so that's part C. Okay, our part C, that's where C goes. Okay, what I can do next is find the preceding task of C, which if you look down you can see B has got preceding task of C, so B is going to go there. And a little before we had loads of times here, we have no times now because there's none given on our table. Okay, it's not important how long everything takes in this. It gets a bit more challenging now because we've got 3 different avenues that we can go down. Okay, but what I've not drawn in is that I've not drawn in, you can see from the question that I've been given E, and E goes here. Okay, so what we essentially got to look at now instead of trying to find what goes next is we need to go to E and find out what needs to go before it. Okay, because what we're going to have is groups, and we're going to have 3 and 2 2s. Okay, and we're going to figure out which order they have to go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the other tasks, the tasks that come before E. Okay, so E has got, you can see before it, A, J, and G. Okay, or J, depending where you're from. So before E, I need to have A, J, and G. Okay, and essentially one of them is going to have 2 before it, and the other one's going to have just 1. Okay, so if I go through my list and find what is preceding A, and it's H. Okay, and what's preceding H? Okay, well it's B. Well, if I look back at the present table that I've already drawn, well, B's there. Okay, and so if it's going to go A, then it's go H, then the next one must be B, so it can't be the one along the top. And I do the same thing with the J. So J needs to have I before it. Okay, and if I look at I, it needs to have B as well. So again, the same idea, it's going to go E, J, I back to B. Okay, and then if I've done this correctly, what it'll mean is G should have 3 things before it. So before G is F, okay, you can see there. And before F, we need D. And if we're lucky, before D, yep, there it is, it's B. Okay, and what that means is that this is the order that everything has to go in. Okay, so the 3 at the top has to be the G, F, and D. So it needs to go G, F, and then D. The other 2, it doesn't really matter. Okay, but I'm just going to do H, and then A, and then I, and then J. And that's the precedence table completed.